Hello everyone. I can see a few joinees here. Some people have joined in. Welcome everyone. So we are about to begin. We'll just wait for a minute or two and we'll start with this amazing session today. I see the number of viewers adding. Very nice. I would request you to please confirm if you can see me clearly and if you can also hear me clearly. Please go to the live chat option and confirm yes to tell me yes, we can hear you clearly or we can see you clearly. The number of viewers are adding. So let's wait for more people to connect. I'm really excited to get going with this session, guys. So let's hurry up and join in quickly. All the viewers who have joined in, please confirm. Please mention your name in the chat box and say hi. I would be happy to see you guys. Yes, we have more users adding in. Welcome, 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 welcome. So we are about to begin in a moment. This is a webinar that I'm doing after a long time. And I'm very excited to start with this session, guys. So we have more viewers connecting with us. Very nice, very nice. So dear viewers, I would firstly like to welcome all of you in this wonderful seminar. I would say seminar, not a webinar, because we are physically present. Yes, of course, we are taking some help from the technology and that's why I would say it's a webinar, but yes, it's a seminar and a webinar. So let's move on. Let's quickly move ahead. Firstly, I would like to welcome all of you in this wonderful and amazing session that we are conducting. Hello once again, everyone. I'm sorry, some technical issue, but I'm sure everything is fine again. I really apologize for the signal, I guess. So please confirm if you can still see me again. In case you can see me clearly and you can hear me clearly, please confirm in the chat so that I can get an assurance. I just need an acknowledgement. Please acknowledge. Yes, welcome again. So in case someone of you has not registered for this webinar, you can also use the link, or you can share the link which you received with your friends and family. They can view it on their phone as well. And for some instance, if somebody is not able to use the link, you can just go to YouTube and go to the search engine and type WellskillZ live webinar series. You'll be able to see this live streaming that is going on right now. So I see people confirming that they are already in and they can hear and they can see as well. So you guys can see me clearly. I'm really happy. And in case there's something that goes wrong like this, don't worry, I'll be back. I'll just manage to get everything sorted. I have a wonderful team who's supporting me. So let's move on. So just would like to quickly welcome each one of you to this great live webinar series. So this is going to be the first session that we are doing. So this first session is actually around knowing each other, understanding a few things around communication, like the pointers that I had mentioned and in the mail that was sent to you, that already mentions that we would be talking around communication skills. We would be talking about a great personality and a completely a changed version of yourself. So we'll be moving on. So as we all are here, so let's move on. Firstly, I would like to welcome each one of you that you've taken a decision to be a part of this session. We are already in a trauma situation. We find ourselves in a situation where things around us are locked and blocked. And when we call this a lockdown, I would say let's not let this lockdown lock our learning. So our learning process cannot be held back by anyone. not even the lockdown, because lockdown can stop us from moving around, but the learning process will not stop. And by God's grace, we have the technical support, technology that is in place, because of which we can use resources to enhance our skills. It could be anyone, it could be. So today's webinar wouldn't be restricted to only professionals. We would have n number of people in this webinar. We would have professionals, we would have people who are pursuing jobs, who are actually doing a lot of things and expecting their life to move on to a next level, and every person who is in a thought process who wants to move on to another level. And the reason I've come up with this session today and this series is because I felt somewhere in this lockdown period we are getting stuck. We have stopped our thought process. The only thing that we are doing these days is to just look at what is going on around us. But the best thing that we should do, or the best suggestion that I would have for you, is to start looking at yourself. Because see, looking at people around yourself will not help you. But yes, when you look at yourself, that would help you understand who you are, how you are, and are you compatible to the changes around. The changes that are going on around are actually impacting our lives. If you look at a saying, there's a famous saying that says, change with the change or the change will change you. I repeat myself, change with the change or the change will change you. If you look at this saying has a big importance. It has a big impact on a person's mindset, on a person's thought process. I'm really not sure how many people speak what language. So if you are a Marathi speaker or you're a Hindi speaker, if you try to translate the same sentence that says change with the change or the change will change you, that will actually give you the real value of what our mindset should be. I would like to give you a minute here. So if you want to, please write this down. Write it down. Change with the change or the change will change you. And take a minute to translate it for yourself. If you speak in Marathi, translate it in Marathi. If you speak Hindi, translate it in Hindi. I'll give you a minute. And I'm counting. And the minute countdown has started. Okay? And I'll tick you when I start counting the last 15 seconds. We have 40 seconds left, 20 seconds up, 30 seconds up, 20 seconds up, we'll be counting the last 15 seconds. So let the countdown go on. So it's 15, 14, 13, 12, okay, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sure you've got the correct translations. If you try translating, I have Mr. Ajay Kulkarni, who's translated it very nicely, होणाऱ्या बदलासोबत स्वतःला बदला, अन्यथा तो बदल तुम्हाला बदलून टाकेल. Very nice, very nice. I would like to applaud for you, Mr. Kulkarni. See, this is the fact of life. If we talk about it in Hindi, it sounds a little more better and it has a different impact altogether. So it says, बदलते वक्त के साथ अपने आप को बदल दो, या तो बदलने वाला वक्त आपको बदल देगा. So Hindi is a little tough, but it makes meaning when you talk about the same sentence which is in English. That actually comes back to you, making it comfortable in your own mother tongue. So today I am going to talk about your mother tongue as well. So when we talk about things, initially when we say communication for some people is around the language. I've seen people say if a person knows English, he is a good communicator. I disagree with you if you have this thought. Because if you are talking about communication has no language bar. Communication, if you look at, communication is something that talks clearly, talks effectively, and it is something that would get your message passed on effectively and clearly. So maybe you're talking in Hindi, you're talking in Marathi, but the way you speak is very important. So communication is nice, communication is good, but it has to be efficient, it has to be very effective. And if that is not the case, then it's the time that we should start working on our skill set. In this session, we would learn about how communication impacts a person, how it influences a personality of a person, why communication is important, or how this communication can influence or impact a person's life. So this is how we would look at it. So this webinar that we are a part of, I really appreciate you taking out time and participating in this webinar. So this webinar is going to be a life-changing experience for you. Not because I consider myself to be the best speaker, no, but this is a decision that is taken by you. In these few days of lockdown, we have actually locked ourselves into the daily routine. We have got into the laid back attitude. We are actually doing things which we are not supposed to do. People are oversleeping. People are overeating. People are overthinking. These things are things which are not expected. So this is not an expectation from someone else, but I'm talking about expectation from yourself. So think about it. Do you expect yourself to overeat? Do you expect yourself to overthink? No, we don't. But we are already doing it. So this is called getting into the atmosphere. In the coming sessions, I would be telling you, I would be coaching you on how the atmosphere plays an important role in a person's life. How atmosphere can change the way you think, the way you speak, and the way your confidence is carried. So, as I said, this webinar will actually change your life. Like I said, communication and language, these are not directly communicated, or these have no direct relationship, because communication has its own role to play and languages have their own role to play. In my coaching sessions, I always mention we should respect our mother tongue, we should respect our national language, which is very important. But at the same time, we need to understand that things around us are changing. Like we said, changing with the time is the need of today's hour. Many people think you can be an effective communicator only if you can speak English. Yes, I would agree to an extent, because in today's fastest growing, rapidly changing world, English is very important. And if English is important, we need to embrace English, not because it's a language, but yes, because it's the need. It is something that is going to add a feather in our cap. We have a lot of places, we have a lot of situations where we come across ourselves in a soup. We think, is this really necessary for my life? But yes, when you actually come across a situation, that situation tells you you should be really prepared. And being prepared is a part of being a globalized person, a globalized personality. Because today we talk about globalization. What is globalization? Globalization is being ready to be a part of the system anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. You could be a part of any system anywhere in the world. But when you talk about being a person who has the efficiency to be a globalized person, you need to display a proof of your efficiency. And if you want to display a proof of your efficiency, that can be displayed through your language. That can be displayed through your personality. That can be displayed through how you carry yourself, your etiquettes, and a lot other things, which I will be touching base in the coming sessions as well. So a few things that I would like to quickly highlight here today. If you want to present yourself, you need to be ready to present a proof of your efficiency. You need to present a proof of your skilled personality. You need to produce a proof of your smart personality, because these are things which can't only be heard, but these can be seen as well. So we need to be really ready. Say for example, in this webinar today, we may have professionals, we may have job aspirants, we may have promotion seekers, we may have housewives as well, we may have students. Every person has their own target. Every person has their own dream. So in my sessions, normally when I ask for introduction, I ask people to introduce themselves. But the most important thing that I focus on is that person's dream, is that person's reason to learn English, to change their personality, to find this option of grooming themselves. So knowing the reason why you want to change yourself is very important, because your reason is going to be your driving factor. Your reason is actually being the anchor which would keep you strong, it would keep you stable. Okay, so before we move on, I would like to quickly share with you an experience which I've got through a video that I'm going to play for you here. So this video that we would be going to be a part of is just a 3-minute video. It's not a lengthy video, but this particular video will tell you how your comfort zone can become fatal. It can create a problem for you. It can become a barrier for you. So let's listen to this video. This video will actually change the way you look at things. So let's move on. And I'm happy I see more people joining in. Great.
See, let me share something with you. The easiest thing I've ever done was to earn $1 million. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe it could happen to me. See, let me share something with you. The easiest thing I've ever done was to earn $1 million. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe it could happen to me. That was the most difficult part, to believe that given my circumstances, if my birth parents came down this aisle right now, I would not know either one if my daddy came up here or my mother came up here. Given the fact that I was born in an abandoned building on a floor, being labeled educable, mentally retarded, not having any college training, I used to feel all my life that people who had college degrees were more intelligent than me. I remember going to see the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the author of the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. And I used to look at him up on stage and I said, I could do that. I would love to talk to people. I'd love to talk to people. And I said, I could do that. But then when I started going back to my car, my mental conditioning activated itself. And it said, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have the training. You've never worked for a major corporation. You can't do that. What makes you think you can earn $5, $10, $15, $20,000 in an hour? You don't earn that now working for 2 or 3 months. What makes you think that you can speak for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric? These are clients I have now. You've never even worked for them. How many of you ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talk yourself out of it? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. That inner conversation is what's going to haunt you. Here's something else. It's possible you can live your dream. If I can see it, I'll believe it. No, 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 no. If you believe it, you can see it.
You might never fail on the scale I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default.
You've got to be willing.
Welcome back, everyone. So did you see this particular video changed my thought process altogether? Videos like this actually help us change our thought process. We need to understand how our comfort zone can prove to be a barrier in our success life. Our comfort zone can create an atmosphere which will block you from thinking something that is better for your life, thinking that is a different thing altogether for a life. And the best thing we should do is to motivate ourselves. Self-motivation is very important. One person who comes up and tells you this is something you do and things will change for you. Instead of someone coming to you and telling you this is what will change your life, why not motivate ourselves? Why not tell yourself every day, today is a new day. Let me start a new start today. Why not make a new move which will be a different move altogether? These are things which will actually change our thought process. I see a lot of you are here. You are agreeing with whatever I am saying. What I am trying to say is appreciated. But instead of appreciating what I have to say, you need to start thinking. You need to start thinking, what is it that is blocking my thought process? Yes, I have people asking me to come to a point. My point today is to tell you communication is very important. Communication skills are very important. English proficiency is very important. change in your life is very important. But if I was to tell you something in a minute, I don't think it's possible. Can you watch a movie which can run for 3 hours in 5 minutes? It's not possible. You will need to follow it. You will need to spend some time understanding the concept, understanding the script, which will then tell you what is the intention, what is the message. If I want to share something, I have a lot to share. I've been speaking English for more than 35 years. I've been coaching people for more than a lot of years. But if I want to sum it up, there's nothing that will sum up. Things are different in today's world, my dear friends. When we talk about this session, we've just started the session. This is just the introduction part. And I've been blunt and I've been honest in speaking to people. If somebody wants to be a part of change, you will need to contribute. You will need to keep patience. If you do not have patience, you cannot be a part of change. If you do not have the patience, you are free to leave. You are free to go. And that's how the world is. The world is very honest. The world is very clear, very clean. People around us are no more trying to please us. Nobody wants to come to you with buttering faces. Nobody. People will come to you, they will want to talk to you on your face. If they appreciate, they will appreciate you. If they don't, they will just say something, comment and move away. But when we talk about communication, when we talk about personality, which is a smart personality that we call, when we talk about communication, we talk about effective communication. When we talk about you, we are talking about a completely new you. What do these terms mean? These terms have a lot of meanings, guys. You need to understand what these terms mean, what these terms have to say, what these terms have to explain. These terms have a lot hidden in this. If you talk about this session that is going on, this session is for everyone who could be a professional, who could be a person who uses communication in their everyday life, personal life, business life, I would say. And it's also suitable for people, all those people who wonder how communication works and they want to learn things behind communication. But this course or this particular session may not be suitable for communication professionals who have an advanced knowledge of this field. Yes, for such people, a more advanced course on the topic is already available. So people like these have a different hunger. So everybody has a different hunger. Everybody has a different type of requirement. Everybody has a different reason. And every person needs to identify their reason, which will actually take them to the next level. True learnings can be life-changing, guys. In these sessions, in this particular series, you'll have some true learnings. You will be learning self-reliance. You will be learning how to rely on yourself instead of relying or depending on someone else. You would be learning how to build your confidence. Your confidence will move from a level to a level which is at par. The most important thing that a person needs to have is patience. This patience will be enhanced. Tolerance. Whatever the situation throws at you. Now, talking about this lockdown period, people are showing patience. They are showing tolerance. And they are also showing accommodative nature. People are just adjusting, they are accommodating with what is going on around, but they are not getting disappointed with what is going on. Yes, patience is something that keeps you going on and on and on. The most important thing when we talk about coming out of your comfort zone is to act on what you decide and plan. And not only that, but you should act and plan and at the same time start working on it. When you start working, you need to be consistent. You need to be repetitive. You need to do it constantly. If you do something constantly, that will change things for you. Innovation is very important, guys. Innovation. What is innovation? You need to start thinking. You need to analyze yourself. You need to start analyzing what is my strength? What is that inside me which will make me a person who is not a normal person, which makes me stand outside the crowd, which will keep you ahead of others? What is inside me? Is it the leadership quality that I have? Is it the fun making quality that I have? Or is it the humor that I pass on that has impact on people because of which they are connected with me? It's very important for us to behave human. It's very important for us to show compassion. It's very important for us to be nice to people around us, which will actually display your personality. When we talk about smartness, I have a long list of qualities that a human being can have. And that list of quality, if you go through, that will tell you what are your strengths, what are your key areas where you need to improve. It's very important. You will need to understand how to analyze yourself. You will need to understand. You will need to accept. In these sessions, you will understand how to accept your weaknesses and convert them, change them into strength. It's very important. You need to have a thinking approach. You need to have a critical thinking attitude. You need to have a creative thinking attitude. It's very important that you plan things, you execute them, and once you start doing these things one by one, things will change for you slowly. Don't expect magic. Don't expect magic. When we talk about a language, I can give you examples where a lot of us get stuck when we are facing interviews, when we are meeting people, when we are presenting, and a lot many places where we try a lot of things and we get stuck. So when we talk about communication, I would come back to the communication thing, like effective communication and English. In this session, I would be touching base with English. A lot of people know what English is, or they are good speakers of English, but using this language effectively in a right place is also important. You just can't keep talking in a way, but you need to have some impact over the people who are around us. We need to understand a lot many things, guys. So today I will be taking you through a small session which would help you understand some small errors that we come across when we speak English. And there are a lot of new learners as well. There are people who are already pros in English. They are good speakers of English. I see them here. So when I talk about, so everybody knows the persons in English. The language English has persons, which would be termed in singular and plural. So when we talk about terming persons, persons will be termed into singular and plural. When we talk about the count of persons, we have I, we, you, they, he, she, and it. So these persons we are aware of a lot many times. But there are some places where we make mistakes. There are some places where we fall short of our understanding. When we speak about it, it is something that actually tells us about non-living things. It talks about non-human things. It talks about emotions. It talks about structures. It talks about organizations and a lot of other things. But sometimes we fail to understand what it actually means. We need to actually move on to understand whatever we know and recheck it. So a refresher is very important. So when we circulated this particular webinar, we mentioned that we would be doing a quick refresher with the language. So English as a language is very important. We are not looking at English as a subject. It is not a topic that we will be looking at as a subject, but it would be looked at as a language. It is something that will be helping us in our progress, in our professional life, in our career, in our future. And we will be moving on to understand how things will change our life. We are going to look at communication not only as a language, but as I mentioned a while ago, if you want to talk to someone and if you are not loud and clear, that's what I said, loud and clear, it's a problem. Maybe you're a good speaker of English, you know English very well, but your pace of speaking is not up to the mark. You speak very fast. You speak too fast so the person could understand you. The faster you speak, the possibility of a person understanding you goes down. You speak nicely. You speak nicely, but you are too low on your volume. Your volume is too low. That is also a point, that's also a moment where people will fail to understand you. So what is important? Being loud and clear is very important. If you talk about being loud and clear, it means you shouldn't shout. It doesn't ask you to shout at all. Being loud is speaking in a volume or in a tone which can be easily understood, which can pass on the message easily without the person on the other end struggling to understand what is being passed on. The message is passed on clearly and effectively. That's very important. So when I say communication, the language shouldn't be a barrier. If you're a Hindi speaker, speak confident Hindi, but make sure you speak loudly and clearly. If you speak Marathi, no problem, but make sure you speak loudly and clearly. These things are very important, but yes, talking about English is something that will change your life. You can take examples of your own self. If you've been to an interview, you may have realized, you may have compared yourself with your fellow interviewers who've been present with you to interview themselves. And that's the moment when you start looking at yourself to understand if there's something that is not comfortable, if there's something that is not up to the mark in you, if there's something which you need to start working on. And that's very important, guys. You need to understand on every walk of life there's a learning. There is a learning. So when we talk about today's session is just to have a quick chat with you on presenting to you and telling you the value of communication, how it is important, why it is important. Like I was talking about being loud and clear. Say for example, think about a person who would want to talk to someone about an important topic but doesn't have that audibility, that person is not audible, how will you understand? To present to you. So when we talk about things around us, when we talk about things that help us, like as I said, I'm doing this webinar after a long time. I've been busy taking sessions, I've been busy talking to people, I've been busy teaching, and I have my sessions going on at the same time, and I have just thought of taking some time out to talk to wonderful people like you and share some information which will actually help you enhance. Like giving you some information, I have online English learning courses going on at this moment. We have online one-on-one coaching sessions going on. We have a special webinar for kids that we have done in the past and we are about to do in the coming future. We have like invitations circulated for more than 15,000 people. And when we talk about WellskillZ is not just an organization or not just a company, but WellskillZ is a thought that we are taking around, me and my team. We are with the hunger to reach out to masses. So we are thinking about reaching out to people who desire and deserve to change their lifestyle, who desire and deserve to have a better personality. And unless and until you deserve and unless and until you desire, things will not change for you guys. We will need to start moving on to understand and think about believing yourself, because if you're believing that things can happen for you, yes, they will happen for you. But if your belief is weak, then things may not work for you. So let's look at a quick video. I have a picked video for you which will actually tell you how your belief system works, how you can believe that things can actually change for you, because you tell your brain. So I call it taming your brain. So you should be able to take charge, you should be able to take control of your brain, which will actually help you move on and succeed in life. Okay, so let's quickly look at this video that we have. So let's play this video for you, and I'm sure this video will change a lot of things for you.
See, let me share something with you. The easiest thing I've ever done was to earn $1 million. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe it could happen to me. That was the most difficult part, to believe that given my circumstances, if my birth parents came down this aisle right now, I would not know either one if my daddy came up here or my mother came up here. Given the fact that I was born in an abandoned building on a floor, being labeled educable, mentally retarded, not having any college training, I used to feel all my life that people who had college degrees were more intelligent than me. I remember going to see the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the author of the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. And I used to look at him up on stage and I said, I could do that. I would love to talk to people. I love to talk to people. And I said, I could do that. But then when I started going back to my car, my mental conditioning activated itself. And it said, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have the training. You've never worked for a major corporation. You can't do that. What makes you think you can earn $5, $10, $15, $20,000 in an hour? You don't earn that now working for 2 or 3 months. What makes you think that you can speak for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric? These are clients I have now. You've never even worked for them. How many of you ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talk yourself out of it? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. That inner conversation is what's going to haunt you. Here's something else. It's possible you can live your dream.
If I can see it, I'll believe it. No, 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 no. If you believe it, you can see it.
You might never fail on the scale I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default.
You've got to be willing to go into action. Don't wait around for things to be just right. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Don't wait for the ideal situation. It will never be ideal.
You think it was easy? No, no. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have goals, that you write them down, that you surround yourself with a support team, that you are creative. It's you that you must take personal responsibility to make it happen. George Bernard Shaw said, the people that make it in this world look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. It's hard. No, easy is not an option. However, ladies and gentlemen, what you will discover is that it's worth it. It's worth it.
You must work on yourself continuously. Never be satisfied with yourself. Always know that as you invest the effort and time on you, that's the greatest ability that human beings have above animals. See, a dog can't be anything but a dog. Tree can't be anything but a tree. Human being, you've got unlimited potential. You can put effort on you, and by concentrating on you and developing you, you can transform your life wherever you are right now.
But you got to put a new mind in you. You got to get out of your mind. You got to begin to restructure your thinking. Every day, you've got to begin to recondition your mind. See, many of us go through life making choices, thinking it's our choices, and it's not. You've got to die as you are now. You've got to be willing to give up who you are now for what you can become. Certain things will no longer fit into your life. And so therefore, as you look at yourself, you've got to have this vision of yourself beyond your circumstances.
You want to live life with energy and passion. You're going to get some ideas. You're going to feel your adrenaline flowing, and you're going to think about something, some idea you had. You say, I want to go back and I'm going to look at that again. And you'll get all kind of creative ideas.
So every day you have to sell yourself and get out of your mind those old thoughts, that old belief system. Every day you've got to sell yourself on that it's possible. That you have the vision and never give up. That you become creative and relentless and keep on coming back again and again and again. And that it's you that you got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. And that it's hard. Easy is not an option. And when life knocks you down, jump back up and say, it's not over until I win. No matter how bad it is,
Welcome back, guys. So this video was actually talking about belief. I'm sure it has nothing directly to say or speak about communication, but yes, it has a very big impact on how you think. If you do not believe in yourself, you can not achieve anything. You will need to think positive. You will need to trust yourself. Communication is a tool that will strengthen you. Communication is a tool that will tell you that yes, you can be a part of a growing, a successful corporate world. Communication is very important. So, talking about effective communication, you need to have command over language. And here we would be specifically talking about English as a language. Why is English important as a language? There could be a lot of reasons why English is important. Everybody would find it with a different help. It would come to somebody's rescue with a different reason altogether. A person who wants a new job will find it as a tool which can get him or her a nice job. A person who wants promotion, a person who's looking to be a good manager, English would come to the person's rescue, improving his communication. For a student, English could help in improving the marks, the scores in school academics. For a person who's a professional, that person can conveniently, comfortably interact with people around. And that's how communication using English would prove to be a boon. It would prove to be a very important key, a very important tool in someone's hands. It's like a weapon which can be used in the time of need. Communication is something that will strengthen you to stand strong in the corporate race. When you talk about your career, English is important. When you talk about moving on into a successful lifestyle, English is important. Communicating in English will help you become globally ready. It would help you prepare in the coming days to chase your dreams. So when we talk about dreams, goals, we would always look at these dreams and goals, but we want to look at dreams and goals which can be achieved. Communication is very important. I have some experiences from my student they shared with me. So I will be sharing an instance, say talking about the topics that we were talking about. When we talk about the persons in English, I, we, you, they, he, she, it is a person people fail to understand where and when to use it. People consider it to be a human. Sometimes I have seen people using it when they want to talk about a male or a female, a male person or a female person. But once you understand, once you go through the grammatical errors, understand what the errors are, what the pain areas are, that's the time your confidence will grow up. So when does your confidence go up? Having complete knowledge about a product, your confidence goes up. If you want your confidence to go up, you need to have thorough knowledge about the product. So the product here that we're talking about is communication and moreover English. So if you want to have yourself as a good speaker, you need to have good command over English. You need to understand what is the right way of speaking English. You need to understand what is the place where your English should be used in the most effective way. Understanding grammar in English is important, but that's not the only thing. I believe in practice and implementation. So, I would be teaching you steps which will actually help you to practice things and implement it. Because learning something is different and implementing it is different. So, whenever you talk about implementing things, that's the time whatever you've learned is checked. So that's the time when you check what you've learned, and that tells you if you actually understood whatever you've learned. So implementation is very important. So you should learn to implement. So English has a different aspects of looking at it. Some people look at English as professional English. Some people look at English as business English, a language for business. Some people look at English for just communication, and some people have a poor eagerness of English. Be touching base with a little of grammar, we would be touching base with a little of speaking skills, the do's and don'ts. So there are a lot of places where we miss out on the pronunciation. So what is important? So when you talk about English, there are a few pointers that I'm going to highlight in a while, which actually tell you what is important when you talk about speaking English. So when you talk about English, you first need to have good efficiency of pronouncing things. So your pronunciation is important. After pronunciation, your meaning or the message that your word is going to put forward is important. So whenever you look at words, look at them in different ways. So look at the word, understand the spelling of a word, understand the meaning of a word, understand the pronunciation of that particular word. So whenever you talk about understanding the word with its meaning, the spelling, and the pronunciation, that will raise your confidence level. When you talk about words which will actually help you speak, so there are a lot of words which, if pronounced incorrectly, they can pass on a wrong message. They can pass on a different message altogether. Say for example, I talk about a word that is feel. So feel and fill are two different words. They have a different meaning altogether. So when I say I feel and I fill, these two words make a different impact altogether. These two words actually talk about a lot of different things, but it actually makes a difference if you pronounce it incorrectly. Similarly, there are some other words as well. So if I talk about a word that says pill and there's a word that says peel, these are two different words. These two different words have a different meaning. So when we talk about using words, we need to have the correct understanding of the pronunciation, and that's where your communication will look effective. So when you speak about something, speaking about things confidently is a nice way or a nice approach, but having the confidence about correct things is also important. It's very, very, very important. You can go across a lot of websites, you can go across a lot of books, you'll find a lot of information available which will tell you the do's and don'ts of communication. But here I would be with you to do a hand holding. I see a lot of people telling, if you do this, things will change for you. If you do this, things will change for you. If you speak this way, they give you a generic view of movements. They give you a generic way of working or acting upon things. But I believe in hand holding to a level and then moving it on to a different level. I'm sure you may remember if you started the moment when you started learning to ride a bicycle. That is the moment when you started to ride the bicycle, that was the moment when you started riding it, you started gaining balance. But if you remember, there was a hand which was supporting you. That's called hand holding. But that hand did not go on for a longer time. That hand went on with you for a limited period. And after some time, that hand was taken away. But in that span of time, when the hand was holding the bicycle, you were able to gain the balance. You were able to gain the confidence that you can ride that bicycle easily and nicely, confidently. That's the same with language. That's the same with speaking English. The more time you spend learning English, you will be able to confidently deliver whatever you want to speak. If you want to say something, you will be able to speak effectively. You will be able to use pointers to convey your message. Your pronunciation will fall in place. Your pronunciation will be in place. That will help you be an effective communicator. So tomorrow on, the sessions that we are going to do, these sessions will actually help you learn English step by step, telling you the pointers which will change your perception about the language, gaining you the confidence about the language, and telling you the do's and don'ts about the language. Tomorrow onwards, the sessions will actually tell you the topics, exact topics on how to react and respond when a situation is thrown at you. When a situation is there, how a word needs to be used. We would also be learning the use of words in the right place. So several words are used in several places, but we will be learning the choice of words. So that's the place where we'll get confident on choosing the right words for our speech. So once we are moving on to these sessions tomorrow on, I will also be sharing some data. So tomorrow onwards, we would be using the screen as well, which would have some data for you to read through as I simultaneously speak. Today as well, I was prepared, but due to some technical issues, I wasn't able to do it. But I'll be prepared tomorrow so that you can make the most out of whatever I have to deliver. I have a lot of sessions that I'm doing currently. So in case you feel you want to enhance your language, you can always connect us and we can be a helping hand to you. I have a lot of students who I have trained in the past and they are happy. They've learned a lot, they've changed their personalities, and they are well placed in better organizations. I have testimonials of people who have actually benefited out of our teachings. So we as a team have the hunger to reach out to people who really want to learn. There would be people who would find this session a session which would be informative. Some people would find this session more of a learning session. But our intention through this session is to lend a helping hand to our beloved people around who are locked down in this lockdown period. And in this lockdown period, they are in different thoughts. So we just thought we could lend a helping hand to change or divert your thought process to start looking at yourself, start looking at your skill set, and start looking at enhancing your skill set. There are a lot of people who have contributed in this particular webinar. And not only this session, this series, I have a team who is constantly working on reaching out to people who really want to be a part of the sessions. I have an experience, I have an example to share. I'm sure this is not the right channel to do it, but day before yesterday, there was a news, an actor who moved out to do his part for the social welfare. So he wanted to contribute to the society and he wanted to help people who were actually starving or who were out of food, who were out of their basics. So what he does, he gets a truck he loads that truck with packets of grains in it. He goes in the midnight, okay? So he goes in the midnight to this particular slum area, and he asks those people to walk out who really need food grains in their house. And these packets were only 1 kg packets. He could have made the packets bigger, but he just made those packets a kg packets. People reached out to him. There would be many people who would have thought it's only a kg packet. They missed out on the opportunity. I'll tell you why this is supposed to be an opportunity. This person started distributing these packets, and because of the 1 kg packet, only the people who were deserving reached out, who came forward to seek this help. And when they came forward to seek this help, they took those packets home, and to their surprise, when they reached home, the packets did not have only 1 kg grain, but the packets had 15,000 cash. So that's a surprise. That's a gift that God wants to give us as humans. But you never know what will come to you in what way. So in this lockdown period, I would like to motivate you. I would like to encourage you to spend more time with yourself, enhancing your skills, understanding your weak points, understanding your strength areas, and start improving on those. Spend time with your family, spend time doing things that you've not done. But talking about yourself once again, improving your skill set is important, because the lockdown is not going to be there forever. The day the lockdown opens, the day we get an opportunity to move out, we will need to be equipped. We will have to be equipped so that people will actually honor us. People will actually need to have something that will make you stand different than others. Why? Because this lockdown period, as I mentioned in the beginning of the session, it has locked down our thought process altogether. And unfortunately, we are doing things which we have not thought of doing. We are doing things which we may have not expected. There are examples, there are experiences of people sharing and doing what they are doing. But the best will work for those who will make the best out of this time. This once in a lifetime opportunity will change your life altogether. It will change your career aspect altogether. In the past, we could hear people saying, I do not have time. But today, there is no person apart from the emergency services people who could say that I do not have time. So this method of looking at yourself, looking at analyzing yourself, looking at improving your skill set will actually strengthen you, will actually make you a bold and an effective communicator. It will help you change your personality. It would help you enhance yourself to become a new you. And I will be sharing the secrets tomorrow onwards, for being the first day, and I believe the person who stays till the last gets the best. So I will be sharing secrets which I have experienced in my life and which I have proved to change many people's life. I will be sharing those tips and secrets tomorrow on, which will change your life altogether. We need to understand things. So tomorrow onwards, when we join these sessions, if possible, be a part of these sessions with a notepad and a pen. If possible, whatever is being taught, you can be a part of the session. You can actually write down some pointers, make some notes. These notes will actually help you enhance your communication. It will give you a lot of new learning. I can guarantee you on new learning in these days of sessions. I can guarantee you that you will get a new learning altogether in these days. For some people, it may not find interesting, as I mentioned. For those people, there's a different level of webinar, or there's a different level of content altogether that we are prepared with, and that will be going on. But this session is specially for those beloved of mine who I dearly love, and for people, these are my students, and these are some people who I've greatly wanted to connect with, who really need to find a change in their life. So that's my achievement. So that's the point I was coming to. I wanted to reach out to the people who really want to have a change in their life. So tomorrow onwards, you will have pointers come your way. These pointers will actually change your thought process. These pointers, these secrets will tell you how you can be an effective speaker. Not only that, but indirectly, they would prepare you for a better career. They would prepare you, these secrets would prepare you to become better professionals in the coming days, and better business persons in the coming days. And also, these secrets will strengthen you, make you a new side of yourself, a new person altogether. And these secrets will help you achieve the dreams and achieve the heights that you've always been dreaming of, that you've always been talking of. So I would like to thank one and all for being a part of this session today. I would like to appreciate a lot of people who connected, and there were a lot of people who unfortunately dropped down. The signal issue was there. So I appreciate a lot of people. I just quickly would like to applaud and say a quick thanks to Vaibhav, Nitin, Hemang, Devika, Dr. Andale, Avishkar, Mahadev, Shailesh, Milind, Mangeshwar K. Patil sir. A lot of them, like Mr. Prashant Joshi, Aarti, Maruti, Rutuja, Anil, Pallavi. So all of these great people, you guys have spent in some time. So you guys have not wasted your time. You guys have invested your time. So whatever time you've invested here today, you will see this invested time getting you results in the coming days. So please be connected in the coming days. We will be going on with this session, and this session that we had today was just an introductory session. So this session did not have anything to come to you as a content in terms of English or in terms of communication, but this was just a session which was to highlight to you why you should continue being a part of this session in the coming days as well. So please join in and show the same enthusiasm, show the same energy. Tomorrow we will start the session exactly on time, and we will make sure the other things are in place. I'll also coordinate with my technical team to see if things can remain sorted and we can connect again tomorrow. Okay, so in case you have any questions, in case you have any requests, you can always use the chat box. You can drop in your queries. You also have the confirmation messages that you've got, and these confirmation messages you can always mail into us with your queries, with your questions. We would like to connect with you. In case possible, we would like to get into a one-on-one conversation with you to answer your queries and make sure you benefit out of this course and this webinar series, and you have some change in your life. Okay, so we are about to stop now. So let me say a big goodbye to all of you, and let's meet again tomorrow. And I would like to thank you all once again. Yes, I was happy. In fact, I'm really happy to be a part of this webinar, hosting it, and also this session definitely will help you in the future. I'm sure if you take it that way, if you take it positively, that will influence and impact your life, guys. So if you were not able to get into this session consistently tomorrow, make sure that you join in time. Also, if you have someone who you want to join in without the link, so you can share the link that you've received. For tomorrow, you'll get another confirmation email from my team, which would give you some more information in case you have some other requirement. You could get a confirmation there. And when we start the session tomorrow, we will start it with a blast. We will be completely prepared as a learning class, but not technically learning. But yes, we would like to have ourselves come up as a fun and learn session. Okay, and I'm also coming up with some books of mine in the coming days. So I have some videos, I have some material that I'm working on already. So in the coming days, I'll be circulating that information with you as well, so you guys can benefit out of it in the coming days as well. Okay, so let's bid goodbye and have a wonderful evening, all you wonderful people. Stay blessed, stay home, stay safe, and all the best. God bless you.